Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, the Grand Rising Show, the Rising Show with Empress Ella G. Wow.
Grand Rising. Grand Rising, Brother Lance. Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I'm going to be speaking a little softer this morning. We had folks who worked overnight last night, and they are still asleep, so...
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't know. I'm sorry, because we just got on. We didn't have a chance to speak before the show. And we prepared everything from the wee hours, and everything was set. I made a nice little banner, had everything up right on time. And I go and look in my Gmail account that basically says that your thumbnail image was basically too racy, and we had to take it down. So I'm thinking they took the show down. So I went to check the show, and the show was still there. They just removed the image. So I had to make another image. And all it was there was a woman on her stomach in the bed, and there was a man behind her who had demon horns on him. And there was a woman who was in a bikini, stripper style, to the side to be a little suggestive, but she was in a bikini. I guess it was the way she built. You know, black women, with the way they're built, it's obscene to the censors. I guess it was somebody who was flat and didn't have any curves, or had a two-dimensional backside that you can lick a stamp and put it on the right butt cheek and mail them to another country. Then it would have been okay. But anyway, it's not going to stop anything. It's not going to stop the discussion. I'm telling you. I mean, maybe if I did an industry baby video, not me myself, I'm just saying if I had one up there, it'll be okay.
It would be okay.
That is so strange. And you know, just a little while ago, I took a nap, and I dreamt that police had got behind me and pulled me over to check me for no reason. You know, that's what, no reason. And they let me go. Right. So it was like, okay, that was a sign of what was yet to come. And I get on the computer, and YouTube comes at me that way. Like, we're just going to take down the thumbnail banner because it was against our policies, our community guidelines. Oh, man, aren't they getting strict? Is it that, or was it the topic? Well, is it the topic? What do you think?
If it was the topic,
the whole thing would have been taken down. Yeah,
because then what is it about the topic that goes against their sex guidelines, which is what they said, you know? So, I mean,
right.
Are you not allowed to have the words on there, those types of words?
Sexually transmitted demons. What are they going to do on Halloween? Take everybody's channel down? Yeah. It's crazy. But I see we have so many who are here already, and I know you like to greet everyone.
I do. Let's see. Hang on a second, guys. I'm saying hello. Hi, Grand Rising Melissa, Grand Rising Sunkissed, Zenobia, France Share. Hi, how you doing? Hi, Eric. Hi, Romy. Hi, Eileen, Superman Heru, how are you? West Indies DNA, honey, you've been sitting here waiting. I hope you're still here. Hi, Black Hannah. How's everyone doing? It's good to see you all. Every single person that's here, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Grand Rising, Brother Lance. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling lighter. There are things that are transpiring on a good level, and we'll keep that. And I'm just looking forward to the future. I'm just looking forward to rolling with this feeling. And there's a little bit of noise in the background as usual. And
what do I keep hearing? I keep hearing a sound like, you know, when you hear a computer doing.
Yeah, that's that sound that the computer's been doing for the whole week, and it goes off and on that way. And same one from yesterday. Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
It's continuing on. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you hear.
We have
Yes.
another Eric in here. Hi, Eric Days. How you doing? Dame Johnson. Everyone's coming in. Come on in, guys. Hopefully, Brother Lance has some really, really good words for us this morning.
Oh yeah, it's always percolating up in my brain. I
I
never really
know it
have
is.
anything
I
or get
know.
notes together and stuff like that.
Right.
It's really hands-on experience because I
Yeah.
wrote an article about this probably like about exactly 10 years ago, and
Really.
it was kind of popular when I wrote it, and it was a long article, but in essence it wasn't enough because this is the kind of topic that you can continue to go bad choice of words. This is the kind of topic that you can continue to go down on.
You
Continue to go
start.
down
You
on, and
start
it's just
already.
never
You
just never
start.
enough.
You start
Excuse me, I
already.
didn't mean to say that way. Oh
I
man,
see a lot
I
of
can
new
already see what kind of day
faces.
it's going to be.
I see a lot of
Mm.
new faces in here.
Yes, yes, and I
And
welcome you
all I
all.
can say is
Michael Beasley
hi.
Jr., my buddy, how are you?
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yes,
Remy's from Zambia. I'm in
nice.
Accra, Ghana right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot we have to catch up on, Michael. I'm in Accra right now.
Brother
And
Lance, I'm sure some of these people want you to say hi to them too.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, if we did it twice, then they'll keep coming. But
Oh,
yeah,
they
okay.
love it. They
Okay,
love it.
Black Hannah, West Indians DNA, Superman Haru, Eileen, Ayami Atkins, you're new. Welcome in. We're going to keep you here. Romy Rome, Eric, Francia Share, Synovia, Sunkiss Felicia Edwards, Melissa Grant,
Yes.
and who else? Eric Days,
Remy
Yeshua,
Shibwe.
Dame. Okay, who else? Let me see. Zulu Nation family. Yes, Remy. I think I
Yes.
said Michael Beasley. Yeah, we're good. And
Yeah,
as we
we're
go on the
good.
show, there'll
As
be
we
more
go
people
along,
coming.
there'll be more people coming in. So thank you
Yeah,
guys. Excuse me. Thank you guys for all being here. So, Sir Lance, get to step in with this wonderful title here and
we
let
can never
us.
say it enough. I don't know if I'll end up ranting or just talking real calm. But this is a kind
Yes,
of topic that we can never speak on enough.
I
It's
know.
it's we have to understand, since we already understand on this channel that we are energy. I'll
Yes.
agree with that. We say it
Mhm.
different ways, but we are energy beings. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience, but we're energy
Hey,
beings also in that.
Angie. I hope you're watching. I know you're watching.
Energy.
You're always watching. Hey, love. How you doing, sweetheart? Grand Rising. You're a mess. I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh,
She- She's a mess. Okay. Yes. Yes.
now
Yes. Yes.
begin.
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. So that being said, like I said before, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, but we're also energy in that. And spiritual, we get it confused. We think that it's always something good. We ask the stupid question, are you spiritual? Of course. That's like asking somebody if they breathe air. Are you spiritual? We're all spiritual. But what kind of charge do we have coming along with that spirituality, that spiritual
Right.
vehicle
Right.
that we
Right.
are? Is it a
Exactly.
negative charge? Is it a positive charge? What's the motivation of that charge? What's behind it? And we
Right.
never we,
Exactly.
we never ask what's behind it as though we're going to get an honest answer, but we need to observe, because we don't need to ask if a person's spiritual. There are
Right.
entities out there that damn have no soul, no spirit. They're just taking up space. So those, you have to really, really watch for those, because those will kill you quick. Those are
Mm-hmm.
there to
Mm-hmm.
suck you out. And yeah, but pun intended, suck you dry, suck you out, and take you out. You see?
Yes.
So that being said, it's an unseen world, it's an unseen realm that we're in, and they come at us different ways. Okay. Yes, we need to be paranoid on these levels, because whatever's negative out there wants to pull you to the negative side, and whatever's
Right.
positive is trying to
Right.
influence you to the positive side. And they
Right.
use all different types of means to do so. If you're a person who gets angry quick and can't control your temper, those negative forces out there are going to use that against you and put you in situations and come up with situations to get you to be angry, to lose it, to hurt somebody, to get yourself locked up, take you off course, and especially when you have something positive that you have for the day that you want to do. And this is another
Exactly.
reason why you need to Not always state what it is out to the universe that you want. We're going to talk to people that are cool with us, but understand they're not the only ones listening.
Yes.
They're not the only ones listening. And even people sometimes, if there's a delay of a day or two before you stated something that you wanted to go on, this is the time for that. And I don't verbally plagiarize anybody. I give credit where credit was due or is due. Dr. Mumbai did a video on that yesterday or within the last 2 days about remaining silent. Now, we're not off course. I'm just laying this down so we know, because there's a point with this that I want to speak about remaining silent. Sometimes you don't even tell the person that you're laying in the bed with what you're going to do, because it's not necessarily they're going to come against you, but those entities that are around you will go and run with it. So even when you have intimacy in the bedroom and you're saying sweet nothings, there's something there that's listening.
Yes,
there's an energy there that's listening.
Yes,
so if you think I'm crazy at this point, just leave out and just, no, Lance is crazy. He's talking about things in the bed that you can't see, but that's the truth. Okay. Yeah, you can speak it to the person you're with. Sometimes you have to write something down on paper backwards and confuse those little buggers about what you intend to do.
That is so true. That is so true.
They say, don't speak it out to the universe. You think that it means talking to somebody directly that you think is cool with you. They might be cool with you. And then the thing still falls through, the negativity comes through because you put it out there because something else heard what it is. And it's their job, and their only job is to trip you up and keep you from doing what it is that you have to do. To appeal to you, not in a good way, but to appeal to you, to pull you out of yourself, to get you caught up in some stuff. It's just like the time when you're going to work and everything is going smooth and you got your nice little radio station on and they're playing the same songs. You like grooving to it and whatnot, and you just get distracted for a second and you hit somebody or somebody hits you. And now in a split second, you realize that the rest of your day is not going to go as planned.
Exactly. It's funny. They have that saying, don't let your left hand know, don't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing, or whatever. Either way, don't let either hand know what the other hand is doing.
We're talking about sexually transmitted demons and possibly master later on in the show. That's funny how you'd say, don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing.
Leave me alone, Brother Lance.
No, we're going to talk about that too now. That's part of it too. So now let's go back in on this. So if you are the kind of person to be so nice and compassionate and you always have a kind heart for somebody, there are people out there who will be perpetually caught up in some kind of sad situation to suck out your energy of compassion.
Yes.
The person who knows that you're gonna, give them that quarter, give them that little bit of money, depending on what the denominations are and what country you're in. Because they know you're going to give it, so they throw you that face, and they out there hardcore hustling. They don't give a damn about you. They want that money for that liquor. They want that money for them drugs, but they're going to throw that face because you think you're doing God's work. So they push you into a position through your weak parts to use you and take away the energy out of your life force battery.
Yes.
We are batteries, number one. We're going to get to the sex demons now, but I'm just setting the stage.
Set the stage.
We are batteries.
Yes.
The battery gets full. When the battery is full, a rechargeable battery is full, you can keep it on the charger for the next 10 days. It ain't going to be more full than that.
Exactly.
There's a limitation on how full the battery can be. But the minute you take it off of that charger and put it into the gadget that you want to use, it starts to go down. It starts to go down in the charge. Okay, so now here you are.
Yes.
Even if you can get past the issues of what's going on inside your home, doesn't mean that it's bad stuff. Doesn't mean it's just good or something really traumatic. No, but we have dealings in our home sometimes that are not always favorable. So we don't get a chance sometimes to get to 100%. If your home life is favorable that way, you have peace of mind, you can let your hair down, you can drop your guard, you can recuperate from the attacks the day before, you can leave your home at 100%.
Right.
So when you leave your home at 100%, the minute you step out there, it might be 99 and 98. You might see somebody who you don't like that pulls on your energy.
That pulls on your energy, yes. Yes.
You might get to the bus stop, the train stop, or get to your car and get to that busy intersection. And there's so much going on. It takes an extra 10 minutes to get away from that intersection. Now you're drained down to 93. You get there
Oh,
to the job and it's pouring down rain, and
yes.
you realize you didn't bring your umbrella. So
Umbrella.
now you know
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get wet. You had your hair done the weekend before. Now you know,
Mm-mm.
boom, I'm down to 84%.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get
Mm-hmm.
inside, and the person that you don't like on the job who works on the other side of the building, they walk past you and give you a funny look. Now you're down to 81. If you get the picture. So
Yes,
sometimes
indeed.
we can come home back at 13%.
Yes.
Sometimes we can come home at 2%. Sometimes we can come home at
Yes. Yes.
75%. But the game is knowing your
Mm-hmm.
weak points and
Mm-hmm.
not letting the world suck from you by being cool and using your emotional and mental and spiritual knife to cut
To
through these
cut through.
situations nice and smooth,
Exactly.
instead of
Exactly.
using a blunt blade where you have to combat with them, and
Mm-hmm.
fighting with them drains you.
And
So now,
that's why
yeah, go ahead.
that is why we need to wear our crystals, family. We need to have our crystals on us because those are our energy protection. You know, all of what Brother Lance is saying is true. And we're going to come around to how when you're drained and you have a demon inside your home that you don't know is a sexual demon, you know, and the next thing that you do once you come home and get yourself comfortable is, you do the do. Um, Make sure that you have your crystals on, you have your crystals around you, because guess what? Those are going to block some of those negative energies so they can't suck it all out of you. Did I say that right?
Unintended. Let's just call those crystals spiritual condoms for the
Yes,
sake of the show.
indeed. Yes,
They're
indeed.
crystals, but they're spiritual condoms.
That's right.
Now let's get on with the other part with the sexually transmitted
Because
demon.
we're all listening, we're all waiting.
Yeah. I just had to set the stage. I had to do the mental foreplay to get into this part right here.
Yes, indeed.
See something. Everybody, for the most part, has hormones.
Yes.
Everyone has an imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own way of wanting to eat the meal and the condiments they want to put on it, their
Yes.
fantasies, their tastes, whether
Yes.
we bury them deep down, whether we act like we don't have them, whether
Right.
we act as though they don't exist, we are sexual beings. If you have life force, you are a sexual being. It doesn't mean
Exactly.
that's all you walk around thinking about. It doesn't mean that's the only thing that is on your mind. Sometimes some of us act that way. Sometimes when we're in it, that is the only thing on our mind. But it's a force and it's an energy that we have to deal with. It's a branch on the tree that we have to deal with, and we can't get away from it. It diminishes as we get older, but it can still be there. You can see that old man at the nursing home who can't get it up, who's not well at all, but in his mind, his daily goal is to slap that nurse on a fat behind.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a
Mm-hmm.
thrill from
Mm-hmm.
that. We've
Mm-hmm.
sometimes become detached from the actual physical, and our spirit continues on the way we lived our life. So
Right.
that being said, we have these disembodied entities that are demons that can be transmitted sexually. They could
Yes.
have had issues when they were walking the earth or closer by, but they draw from the sexual energy that you have. And to get you to fall into a rut and to get you to fall into a negative situation, they will appeal to you on a sexual level by setting you up in certain situations to get you to get so caught up that you're off course with the positive things that you have to do. I
Yes.
know about that
Yes.
personally
Yes. Yes.
in my life. So that's why I don't need a script. I'm just talking it. I
Yeah,
ain't got no
you
paper.
just talk, my brother. Tell
I
it.
just I just wiped the stuff out the corner of my eye 15 minutes ago. I just woke
Mm-hmm.
up, so I don't have to rehearse for this. This is just the way it is.
Yeah, right, right, right.
So I'm speaking as a man,
Yes.
but I'm not demonizing women. So as I speak as a man, when I speak about the women that I've known in these situations, don't take it to heart. I'm not bashing my sisters. What you need to do if you're a woman is to interchange what I'm saying and think of it for your preference, which is probably going to be
Exactly.
a man or whatever it may be. I'm not getting into that right now. But whatever it is that you like, just change it around, because I'm speaking as a heterosexual man, a flaming heterosexual man. Now
Okay.
let's go get deep now. Let's get deep. Now, sexually transmitted demons, know who you're laying with.
Yes.
It ain't going to happen unless you lay with the person. Or really, is it just that? It can also happen even if you don't lay with them. But when you have sex with somebody, all of the terminals are connected to make an easy transferal of their demons if they have some, or if you have some demons, they're going to get it.
Right.
This is why when you have a man who is very perverse, I'm going to go through everything with a fine tooth comb. An older guy who is very perverse, or a younger guy who is very perverse, they prefer the other woman who has innocence, where she might be down for the act, but she's more innocent. She's not as developed. She's not as twisted in her fantasies and her thoughts and fetishes. Not that it means that you're twisted, but it feels good to let those demons off in an open field that's clear, as opposed to the other person who is just as sexually advanced, if I may say it that way.
Right.
It feels good. So they like to taint people. They like to find the person who's innocent and turn her out.
Right.
Right. You might have that woman who is that way, who wants to turn that man out of the young guy or whoever else. They get off on the fact that you're naive.
Right.
Oh, and we're going to talk adult now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You never had some good head before? Oh, really? You don't know you like this? I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you so good. When I get my tongue on the underside of that clit and slurp up and down, and I'm looking at you and I'm pinching your nipples, and it feels good, and you're just rolling up, and I got you. And it's not just you, because you gotta imagine 10 or 12 little imps sitting up on your shoulder, clapping, and yes, we got you. And because you're open that way and the intent of that person's spirit is evil, I don't mean that good sex and the things that we do is evil, but if the person has it, you now are open to say, someone's knocking at my door, somebody's do me a favor, open the door and let them in.
So true.
Have you ever wondered, when you have a new partner in your life? I'm not saying we're sleeping around. I'm not saying we got 50 million people or notches on our belt. I'm just saying, y'all, think to yourself. I'm not asking anybody to make any kind of confessions, but every time you sleep with someone new, there is a pulling of the spirit.
Yes.
Now, if you can think back to that person who wasn't good for you, who you later on found out had certain characteristics that were not good, or something you didn't approve of or saw as desirable in a person, after you laid down in the bed with them, and you usually get up, they're gone now. They done went to work, they done left, whatever. And you're groggy, like you just get over the flu. You groggy, you feel, and it's not just the physical draining, because the physical thing with, you expel and we have orgasms, we feel drained that way, but we're not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about something else. We can't seem to get it together for the rest of the day. Our mind is clogged. Yes, this might have been good, but it's something else in there that of them on me, of them on you. And you're carrying around this thing and you don't know what it is.
And you know something?
Like go ahead, talk to me.
I just thought about something you said, Kara. Sometimes ladies, when we talk about having vaginal infections and so on and so forth, and sometimes you have to stop and think deeper. Is it really just a vaginal infection, or are we carrying around the stench of some deposited demon on us? When you lay with someone and they are who they are, and that energy transfer, and it's not good for you, and it manifests itself in what we consider to be a vaginal infection. I just had to say that. It just crossed my mind.
Yes. No, but you're absolutely right. It's always a mental, physical, and spiritual thing.
Yeah.
But we think of the mental. Oh, he's getting into my head. He's turning me out. Or we think about the physical. Oh, the sex was so good and I'm getting addicted to it. But most of the time, we never think about the spiritual.
Right.
Would you want to hug somebody who has 150 bees hanging on to their clothes? They're going to sting you.
Right.
Would you go lay down in the bed with somebody who's got about 500 mosquitoes on them? You wouldn't want to do that, because chances are some of those mosquitoes are going to bite you and you might get malaria. So why would we now just jump into bed with somebody, or the alleyway or the backseat of the car, and we don't know what's on them? Ask yourself, what is on them? Ask yourself, what is it that this person sees? And a lot of times, and most of the time, the person's not aware of it. They have something. We worry about the physical STDs, the sexually transmitted diseases, but we never think about the sexually transmitted demons.
Yes.
We never think about that. So we walk right on into a situation that's not good for us. That look, those demons, long after you break up, unless you exercise them.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about, take the demons to the gym. We're going to run on the treadmill.
Right,
and I'm
right, 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 right. That's
me.
crucial.
No.
Yes. That's
and
crucial.
Cleanse yourself and cleanse your temple before and after you deal with this person. Listen to the signs. Go back into that meditative state. Go back by the ocean after you had sex with them the first time and say, well, listen, if you got some body of water, if it's not the ocean, the lake, or wherever, let me go back to that still place and let me see what might be on me, because that still place, if this person is good for me, if this person is right for me, it will not bother me. But when you go there and if you're in a state of being disrupted and you don't feel right, and this is a tranquil place, chances are you got some sexually transmitted demons put on you.
Yes.
And that person who's infested with them, that person's going to feel lighter. They're going to be more jolly. They don't have to carry around the weight we're carrying usually. Now, we love our kids, but that person is going to walk around just like when the grandmama came around and said, baby, don't worry this weekend. I'm going to take the kids off your hands. So he done got off something that was a weight on him. Now, I'm not saying your children are a weight, but you have that unexpected free weekend to say, I can lay down 2 hours later. I don't have to jump and clean and wash the clothes right away. I can go to my girlfriend's house and hang out a little bit and talk and not think about nothing and stay up a little later, and I don't have to worry about these things. Well, that's how these people feel, because they got something off of them. And you babysitting their demons, and usually when them demons hit you, they're like, oh, we like it here. A nice, clean, open space, and it's not occupied with as many people. Oh, we can hang out here. And now your thoughts become their thoughts. It's not just that simple. So now the freakishness that they do, and they know, unless you're down with it before, we won't say, because some of us are walking. And I'm not saying freakishness is bad. When I say freakishness, I mean your taste. Right. Some people have sex on the couch as opposed to the daggone bed. Some people want to be in the park at night and have that feeling of almost getting caught. I'm not talking about the healthy things. I'm talking about the vile venom in their heart, which is not attached to anything sexual. The anger, the hate, the jealousy. See, now these are the things that the demons bring with them. You think they just come and sit down invisible and that's it? No, because usually when you go to somebody's apartment or their house in the inner city and they have rats and they got roaches and they got mice and they got these things, they stink. But it's because of the conditions that are already there of things that were never dealt with as far as cleaning up your funky apartment, your filthy house. If you didn't have this stuff in the garbage laying around, the vermin wouldn't have a chance to inhabit. They would not want to be there. Right. You understand? Right. So it's not that you just have demons. You got to be scared of everybody. If you keep your heart pure and your temple pure and your intentions clean, who cares if you wear a garter belt or a short mini skirt or a little red lipstick when you're doing the do, whatever gets you there. But it's the vile venom that's behind it. That when those demons come to you, they can't hang on too long if you don't have it. But if you start aligning yourself with this person and start getting angry at the same certain things, yes, I'm a Donald Trump follower and I can't stand those leftists and those other people, whatever. And you start aligning yourself with those things, or you in the church and yeah, we can't stand Sister So-and-so. She thinks she all that. Those are the things that give the demons, the sexually transmitted demons, foothold inside of you, because now you have something inside of you that is not pure. Right. And that's exactly what they're looking for. Yes, indeed. That's right. So now you're in the bedroom. Let's talk about the physical part, which is still the spiritual thing. You're in the bedroom with them, and acts are being shared and committed. The touch, the look, the psychosexual things that turn us on. Right. I'm not going to put certain things out there, but we all have them. Right. The visuals, the sounds, those things that we didn't even tell the person, but they just do it anyway. Some of the things until you get close, you say, I like when you do this, and I like when you do
Right,
And we
right.
open up a little bit more when we get close. But at first, sometimes you're opening up more because you're giving up your body. But those deep, deep, deep things that turn us on, we keep to
Mm,
ourselves.
yes.
And so now you're in the bed with them and things are happening, whatever you consider to be the ultimate sexual contact, whether it's missionary or 69 or oral or this or that, swinging from the chandeliers, whatever it may
46.
be. Whatever, exactly. 68. I don't do that, right? Whatever it may
22.
be. 22, right? That ain't going to get me there fast enough. 22. Give me an Uber. I ain't trying to take a motor scooter. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get there quick. Give me a helicopter or something.
Hey,
You
you never know. If you know what 22 is, you might really like it.
Hey, 22. Where's it? We'll discuss this after the show. If you see me do a 22 show, you better watch it because it's got to be something, right? Yeah. So there's also the element of the power and the control.
Right.
People out here who, as Sankofa said, are narcissists and control freaks, and
Right.
sex means nothing to them.
Right.
Here you are opening up nice and tender and feeling so good and having the loving feelings or maybe just some lustful feelings, but you've opened yourself up and they ain't give a damn about you. They're trying to sink their claws into your world. They're trying to sink their claws into your life. They know you got a
Exactly.
fat bank account and a lonely heart, and they don't want you. They're using your lonely heart against you. They want that bank account. They don't have a place to live. They just got out of prison 2 weeks before and been sleeping on the park bench. They want to get to that place that you have. They scoped you out. Your kids are grown. The kids ain't around no more. You got all them extra rooms and you're making good money, and they're going to charm you. They're going to stay by their boy's house or whatever, borrow money to get a nice outfit and just get next to you and take the little last $100 and spend it on you, and then come up with a side story. You're going to say, don't worry about it. You're a good man. You can come crash by me. And they want to have sex with you and you don't think so. But they
Right.
have it in mind because that's their best shot. And especially as black men, a lot of us, we only feel, I'm not saying all black men, but too many black men who are not making it along in this system that's against us. The system is against us. And a lot of us only feel that we have power between our legs. So when you see the guys in the
Yes,
corner,
that's true.
don't have much going on for them. They might be hustling a little crack or doing whatever. I'm not saying all young black men are doing that, but for those who are, where is their right hand when you're going to work early in the morning? Right, early and fresh and washed up nice and got a good mentality, and the clothes are right, the heels are right, the hair's right, and they up there been up all night trying to make that little $50 selling a crack, trying to avoid arrest. When you see them, their right hand, if they're right-handed, left-handed is if they're left-handed is on their balls, on their testicles, holding between. Why it ain't gonna run away. It ain't gonna detach and fall off like the other day when I made the joke with the girl said she lost a pizza. It ain't gonna fall off. But you know that you're castrated in this society. And the only sense of power that you have, is that. And so later on, when she's coming back from work and you still out there,
standing there holding
you say, oh, girl, you're looking good. Oh, I need a good woman like you. So and so. As soon as she doesn't say anything to you, she turns into the BITCH.
Exactly.
Oh,
Been
yeah,
there.
fat BITCH.
Been there.
Yo, you ain't my type anyway. Oh, if you got with this, you would be turned out because I'll dig your guts out. You can't handle this. Dig your guts out. You can't handle this. What is this, a fight? What happened to the loving gestures and the compliments that you give? You see how fast we reveal
because those kind of men don't look at women as being worthy of loving, kind gestures. It's like you always say, they are just what do you call it? Glorified friction providers? Is that what you say?
Glorified friction providers.
That's
and
all
they don't even know it.
Yes.
You're a vessel for them to inject their violent venom demons into. But these are the ones who want to control you, and they know they have demons. They don't like love making. They just want to use sex in a barbaric way to wreck your world, to sink their claws inside of your world and use you for what they want. And it's not just you. If there's the next one they spot that way, they're going to go after the next one and the next one.
Exactly.
Until they get what they want. You look around at the month after getting out of prison, they driving some luxury car, got nice clothes, cologne, and a fat wad of money in their pocket because they're using several women, and we have the women who use the several men. That's what it's all about. And they use their sexuality, and they use the power of demons. They use the
get
power
what
of
they want.
demons.
Yes.
Let's explain that one.
Yes.
It ain't just
Explain it.
friction, and I like the way you look, and you're horny, and whatever have you. You better be careful as a man and as a woman when you're watching porn and you're in a vulnerable position, because you're telling the universe exactly it is what you want. And don't be surprised the next day or the next week, something that looks good the way you thought it did, or somebody who has that same spirit of perversion of what they're doing in the bedroom turns the corner with a big smile on their face, ready to talk to you. And they seem so perfect. And you in the back of your mind is, oh my God, they look just like this person. Oh my God, I think it can happen. And then an hour later, it's happening and you're living a fantasy, but they're dumping their demons off on you.
Now listen. Now listen. Now listen. Now listen. If it's happening an hour later, you deserve whatever demons get jumped off on you.
Well, you got to understand that when you get into this zone, especially when one has sexual addictions, there's no holds barred because you're thinking
I know.
So you're already warmed up. You're already a sitting duck for what the world will bring you, for those unseen forces on what they'll bring you. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it with friends. Different times in my life it's happened to me when I was much younger. And this thing is real. And we this stuff out, because remember, sexuality is a good thing, but we have to take it the way that it should be taken, in a good way. For many of us, it's better than a drink of alcohol. For many of us, it's better than a sleeping pill. For many of us, it calms us down. It's better than a good meal. It should be that way naturally, but it goes overboard, and we put too much weight on it.
Exactly.
You see what I mean? I've seen guys when I worked in jails and prisons, you know, they're in a stressful situation. They're not in surroundings where they know what's going on. They're not comfortable there.
Exactly.
So the comfort they go for is masturbation. And I'm here watching these dudes. It's just you keep catching them. You catch this dude 10 o'clock in the morning masturbating. You catch him at lunch masturbating. You catch him 2 in the afternoon masturbating. I mean, man, you ain't got nothing left. You ain't masturbating really because of the sex. You're masturbating because of the feeling that it brings of comfort to you, and that euphoric feeling that temporarily takes you away. That feeling of orgasm is a high, but then you keep doing this, and you'll make it a mess all over the place early on, but later on it's just one little drop. So it's not a sex thing. So we have a propensity sometimes to turn to these things, and the people who come around us who can provide it to us, now we are sitting duck.
Right.
Have these people who have the sexuality is a weapon. They're infested with demons, and their body is their weapon. Their gaze is their weapon. Their smile is their weapon. Their seductive way is their weapon. And you don't give no resistance because it's exactly what you think you want. And you let them right on in, but it's not for the purpose of pleasing you or bringing anything good into your life. It's to wreck your life up and steal and snatch your righteous life force, to leave you drained. And, you know, we heard it most of the time. I don't know what happened to Shirley, but, you know, she was always bubbly and always had good energy and was always motivated to do something. Go get her. She always reached her goals. But as soon as she got with that nigga, something changed about her. She was happy for a little while, but after a while, and you know, he was always quiet. He never said anything, but I never trusted him. But it's something about him. Something happened to her, and she was never the same. And she swears by him that he's doing all this for her, but she ain't living the life that she used to live. We all know somebody like that.
But you know, sometimes even the person that's depositing those demons are not aware that they have those demons on them.
Of course,
that's the scary part. Yeah, you have the ones who, you know, they may not even know that they're demons. They just know that they have certain, you know, they know what they have, certain charm, and they know what they can do with it. You understand? And you have those that don't know. Whether it's a charming demon or it's a it's a, what do you call it, a riling up kind of demon that, once it's deposited, it's going to create strife in the relationship, because you have those kinds. You start out, you feel like you have a connection, everything is good, and all of a sudden you are at each other's throats. Why? Because the demon that was deposited, it's not a charmer. It's not one that's going to make you
Right.
give them all your money. It's one that's just going to have you two going at each other like cats and dogs, and you can't understand why. And that's what it is.
You shouldn't be at each other's throats. You should be in each other's throats.
And I'm going to listen, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
That's the truth, and they may not know. It's
Yes.
all different,
Yes.
and then,
Yes.
then we talk about generational curses and what energy the person has and what they're connected to, and you lay in the bed with them and you
Yes.
become part of their family and all the things that are dysfunctional in their family. See, it goes
Right.
deeper than just the demons. It's connecting to them and all the things that they're connected to. It's like if you marry somebody who has huge debt, well, guess what? That
You just
becomes your
married
debt. This
that
is the
day.
same
Right.
principle.
Right.
So you don't
Right.
want to get with anybody who has any of the cooties that you don't want.
Right.
You make sure to check them out over time, because it's a very destructive thing. But I'm going to tell you one thing too now. You want to have the best orgasms in the whole world, or the way it may appear,
Mm-hmm.
go lay down with somebody who's infested with demons, because those demons going to make sure that you feel good, because they want those portals open to be able to
Yes.
transfer and come inside of
Yes.
you,
Yes.
literally.
Yes.
Come
Yes.
inside of you. We spell it
Yes.
the regular way, COME, and we're going to spell it the porno way, CUM.
Yes.
When you text somebody and you say CUM and you want to really,
Yes.
let them know what this is all about. So I'm going to spell it the porno way. We're going to say it both ways. Come inside and come inside. Because that's how it
Exactly.
works.
Exactly.
It's
Black
unknown.
Black
We're in the-
DeVille. No, the Black DeVille says that they no longer have sex. They only make love.
Or make Black DeVille. No, you're right on point. I'm gonna just say
Yeah.
this part. Make sure that while you're making love, they're not just having sex,
Exactly.
because that's a two-way thing. To
Exactly.
make love, you have to have that connection. It's got to be deeper. You got to have the understanding. I'm not going to preach to the choir. You already know, but just make sure, because you see, we have a lot of women here who, I'm not saying, and you say Black DeVille, I don't know whether you're a man or woman. I'm just saying in principle, right? We have a lot of women out here who are saying, oh, yes, my man is making love to me. And it feels so, because that's what's in your head.
Yes.
But while your man is on top of you pumping away, if that's what he's doing, he's
Hopefully
thinking
that's
about
in
the
his head
juicy ass
too.
that he saw at the mall earlier, fantasizing about that. And you're just a body that's the glorified friction provider. You see
So
what I mean?
how can we know? How can we know?
Well, you just say,
Seriously.
unless you have open communication, you won't know.
Right.
Sorry to sound so harsh, but you
Yeah.
won't know. And you can't expect them to tell you. You have to go by your intuition. And the best way to know is to keep yourself cleansed. Keep yourself cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
It will
Mm-hmm.
come to you. You'll see the pattern. You'll see the little things. You'll see the glances. You'll see the expressions. You'll see how or feel how detached they are. Because the sad
Yes.
thing about it is, most of us, we go to bed with our partner or a new mate or some fling or whatever, and all we're doing is replaying in our head that the scenarios that turn us on, and we're using them to masturbate with. There is
Yes, that's
connection.
true. That's true. There's no
Glorified
connection
provider.
whatsoever. That's true. That is
You just
absolutely
use them
true.
to grind on, no different
Yes.
than you use your hand.
Right.
Why, after the act is over, you don't have a damn thing really to say.
Mm-hmm.
Uncomfortable moments, trying to force a conversation because you realize after the feeling is over and you done came a couple times that you really have
Exactly.
nothing between you anymore. It was a fling or something for a couple days or something or whatever. And some people agree to that. Some people, without saying the word, agree to it. Okay, the sex was good. They look good. I'm not really interested in being in a relationship with this person. So now you sign off on just being each other's booty call.
Right.
Consenting adults who are just going to get off with each other. You have a lot of that out there. But you know what, though? If both of you come to that conclusion and you both know it, not that you're going to sign a booty call contract, but to me, that's better than being deceived. One person being lied to, the next person deceiving them.
Right. You're
It still
absolutely
ain't
right.
good because you're playing around with life force, but at least you know what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. You understand?
Yep, that's true.
Know what you're doing. Know what you're getting into. It's like people who get high. Yeah, I know this thing is bad for me, but I do it once a week, or I do it on my birthday. You shouldn't be doing it at all.
Exactly.
Know your limitations. Know what you're getting into. It's just like when you take a drug for so-called medicinal purposes, is to get to a certain place of healing. Now, we know that that's not really the good way. We got to do the natural way and the herbs and different things like that. But you're taking poison in to get to a point of getting rid of some kind of ailment. But after the ailment is over, you don't take the poison no more. How I look at a straw sucking on cough syrup, I'm going to take a suck on a tablespoon of this cough syrup 3 times a day, and I ain't got no cough. I ain't got no cold. How you look going to get some cold medicine and you don't have no cold?
Unless you want, unless it's NyQuil.
STD I don't have.
Unless it's NyQuil and you just want to get some sleep.
Well, yeah, that's why they got the Z-Quil now, because
they
now
have
it's
chemical.
Yeah, when you take NyQuil, you take cold and flu medicine.
I know.
For that effect.
Yeah.
So it's a poison that we take that gives us that effect. There's some people out here that are not good for us, but to lay down in the bed with them, aside from the physical sensations, they make us feel good. They take us to a certain place.
Yeah.
You might have had a boyfriend when you were younger that was a bad boy. He always treated you nice, but he was always getting in trouble with the law. He would try to hold down a job, but couldn't hold it no more than 2 or 3 weeks or a month. But something about him you liked. And now you got older and you meet somebody with those same qualities. You know they ain't really no good for themselves in their own life, but when they come around you, you feel good and you open up just a little bit. But then you can find yourself with them all the way in, and now you don't like what you're getting. You're getting these bad qualities. Everybody we lay with is not always good for us.
Exactly.
No matter how much they make us feel good and how much, he just does that thing with his tongue. It just drives me crazy. Oh my God. And you know this Negro is no good for you.
Well,
but
you
he did all them things, and you had the upright, so-called decent man who loved you and whatnot, and you had a little bit of freak in you. And oh no, sweetheart, I don't.
But this is where we teach. This is where we teach our partner. I mean, listen, hey, Brother Lance.
Got you talking now,
Brother Lance. Stop it.
Talk to me.
Okay.
What you got?
No, I was saying, when you talk about, someone might have a good, decent man that wants to go out and work and bring home and blah, 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 blah. Well, if both of you really care about each other and care about that relationship, this is where conversation comes in it? This is where you sit and you talk about things that you each like. And then you say, well, where can we compromise and still make our relationship good? You understand what I'm saying? So that neither party is fiending for something that the other one won't provide. Because that's when, people will go elsewhere and bring back a demon into the relationship.
Right. Deliver it for you. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, it just even goes beyond that. And like I was saying before, I gave those examples and stuff, but, just picture, 2 people that they're in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically kind of clean spiritually.
Yes.
You may have something going on with them on a demonic level. When I say demonic, I'm not saying this in a Christian sense, y'all. Okay. I'm just saying this negative energy. And there are demonic forces out there. There are evil, unseen forces out there. You can call it what you want.
Right.
And you know as well as I know, there are people in this world and people that have crossed paths with us that are just friggin' evil. No need to be evil. They just get off on seeing something bad happen to somebody. And that's just the way they are. That's just the way they are. So you have these 2 people in the bed and they're doing what they do, but they don't understand that they're not the only ones there. See, I can't stress that enough. That the exchange of sexual energies, again, is It's life force
Right.
on a big level. It's just like if you choose an Italian restaurant, a Japanese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a Filipino restaurant. At the end of the day, you went to the restaurant.
Right.
So regardless as to what's going on with these people, there are forces around that have different charges. And so when you're having sex, and like I said, if you want to have the best orgasm, lay down with somebody who's full of demons, because those demons are going to make sure to rope you in and to get you hooked to that person to give you the best feeling that you ever had. Now we're going to get a little explicit without really getting explicit, because I'm going to share some things that I've seen with my own eyes.
Okay.
I've seen these things.
Because I haven't seen a lot, so you have to enlighten me.
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is that when I was a young man in my 20s, I was in an open relationship, and we began to have other women come in and visit with us. Okay. And that compounded to the point where there was more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever. It was one big free for all. And because of that, these things were regular. There were friends of mine who thought that I was living a life. And I was duped into thinking that, although I wasn't the one pushing it, she was the one pushing it, because she was the one who was mostly into the women. Okay. So me sitting there already did all kind of things in my life from a teenage years, being a guy who did male stripping and dancing and bodybuilding in New York City back in those days. There's nothing at that point that my eyes haven't seen, but I went along with it because I really liked her. I thought this was something that she'd get beyond. She told me, and she was straight up with it. I was still young, dumb, and full of baby seed. So I was like, this ain't so bad for me right now. You know what I mean? We'll slowly turn this into an authentic relationship. But in the meantime, that girlfriend of yours looks kind of good. Invite her over. So we had those kind of things going on, and I had to say that. So in the midst of, we've been together 8 years with that crap. So this is why I'm burnt out a little bit that way, and I know what I see when I see it. Okay, so now you have 2 or 3 young ladies hanging out with you. You're real relaxed. It's a blizzard outside. It's warm inside. You got some porn playing. I don't drink, but they might be sipping on something. We got some good food. It's a Friday evening, early Friday evening, and ain't nobody leaving till Monday.
Wow.
So I've seen some deeply rooted realities, and some of these people brought along their own demons, and maybe I had a few demons of my own on me. I have seen things in those rooms, because it might have happened in the living room, it might have happened in the bedroom. Everybody else might have been sleeping, and I'm doing something with one other person that I just met 2 days before. But it was something where I burned a hole in that physical location with the crap that I was going on with, which was not good, which appeared good, because they make it appear good. When the lust takes over, it's all good, and you want more. It's not like you get this twisted lust and all of a sudden, I'm satisfied now. You will go to the point of physical exhaustion and still want more. And it's not good. It's like the person who gets that first hit of crack. And they get that first hit of crack, and it blows their mind, and they keep going back to the same crack house that's using less cocaine in the middle.
Right.
But you keep coming back because you remember how good it was. And when you're in them situations, no matter what the pairings, what your own personal situation may be, it is good. You can't tell me that that's not good. And you get hooked, and the demons are jumping. And when they go out in the world and do what they do with whoever they do it with, and they come back to visit you, they're the demon delivery service. So it keeps being good. You got fresh energies crawling all over you, and you looking at the girls' bodies and things swinging, and they're doing stuff with each other, and all of this free force. You swap and spit, crotch sauce, and you're at the bottom of decadence. You see, when you see a person smoking in a crack house and doing drugs, you don't see them. You see them on the outside, but you don't see them in their glory. So I was no more than a slithering demon doing this and licking that and sucking this and touching that and watching this all weekend.
Wow.
Oftentimes during the week. So when it's a free-for-all like that and you're sold out to those energies don't necessarily have to hide themselves.
Right.
There was a time when I was laying down in the living room on 2 mattresses because there was too many women involved. And I'm sitting here I'm going to try to say it in a decent way.
Should you
It's not.
say it?
Yeah. I'm gonna say it. No, I wasn't on top. They were on top. There were other women involved.
Okay.
And while they were on top, I felt somebody's mouth on my balls.
Okay.
And I was inside this woman.
Okay.
Now, I had no problem with that because it amped up the pleasure. Let's just be real.
Okay.
But you know what? When I looked down, there wasn't nobody there.
Stop it.
Wasn't nobody there.
Stop it.
Wasn't nobody there. And it stopped. There wasn't nobody there. I looked to the left, to the right. Those who were there, but who was down there doing that while I was inside this woman? And she was like, later on, which one of y'all put your tongue back there on me when Lance was inside? Wasn't them. So somebody was down there doing something extra that felt real good, but it wasn't of this world.
Oh boy.
So or with one person and they're infested. It don't have to be an extra stimulation that you feel, but it may be something in what you're doing that's intensified. Right. Like I always say, and I go back to using the pizza word to replace the P-U-S-S-Y. And I've always said it to be funny, but I've said it because it's true. You got to be careful. And I'm saying this to the men, and it goes for the women also who are thinking about it. Like I said, it's interchangeable. But demon pizza is some of the best pizza you'll ever have. Right. Like that demonic penis is some of the best penis that you'll ever have as a woman. It is something about that thing. How are you going to have people out here acting all out of character? You knew them to be stable-minded and set and living a certain life, and now they out here acting crazy, smashing some person they just met their windows and out there fighting and screaming and making a scene and all on camera. What the hell did they do to you?
They gave you that demon you want more of.
Yeah, and it takes you over.
Yes,
and
indeed.
You go on thinking you strong. Go on thinking you can make the leap and be, I can handle this. So go on and do that. That's why you got to have your crystals, and like I said, you got to be wearing that spiritual condom. Right. Spiritual condom. You don't know who you with. That's why you got to take your time. I know you're horny. I know you might be lonely, which leads to the horniness. Right. It's like you're just walking around, I want anybody. No. But we think things, and we see people in the park kissing, and we see the couple in the supermarket, and the girl may smack the husband or the man on the butt. And that kind of intimacy we want in our lives. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. But don't let the thought of that sell you out into settling for less or jumping the gun. And there are situations where you can meet somebody and end up intimate with them in a month. And it's okay. And there are some people that you meet, you better not even think about that with them for 2 years. So it's no one set rule where, okay, this is the book of what Scurv says should be. I don't know everything. You better assess them demons for yourself. Exactly. I couldn't tell you. But I've had things walk around me. I've seen shadows in the room with me. Right. And I'm going to tell you all too. The same thing goes, well, I'm not with anybody, so I don't have to worry about nothing. That's a bunch of bull. They're still there. They're still there waiting for you. So if you watching porn, let's just be raw and real with it. I'm not saying everybody does it. Let's say you watching porn and you stroking yourself. You got the mouse in your left hand and your organ in your right hand. And you clicking through. No, that ain't gonna do it for me. Let me see that. Oh yeah. You sitting there for about 2 hours, can't make up your mind what you want to see to release yourself. What you think is in the room there with you? Because that's energy. That's more appetizing to the demons than a transfer from one person to the other. Because you're releasing yourself by yourself, and that energy has nowhere else but to go except to be sucked up by them. Right. Level. They all on your neck, licking your nipple, licking your clit, licking your toe, licking it. and you get all them sensations with your hand.
Mm-mm.
And while you watching what you watch, you telling them what it is that you
Right,
like, so they know
right,
how to come back and
right,
get at you.
right. Yes, that's true. That's true.
Who's gonna tell it? Who's gonna tell the truth? I don't do them things. Well, if you don't, fine. But most who say they don't do it, they lying.
They lying. They do something.
Oh, I gotta go deal with my sleeping pill, battery operated boyfriend, get that jar of Vaseline. And they think in thoughts, and it's purely sexual, especially when you're by yourself. You're not thinking about, well, let me just think a little bit about stocks first and think about the COVID masking regulations and so and so. No, you getting down and dirty, raw into what lustful thing you like, and the demons are lined up. You sitting here masturbating, rubbing yourself, battery operated boyfriend, jerking off with some lotion, and you got 25 things all up around you. You don't even know it.
That's true.
You giving it away.
That's true. That's why, I feel like that's why you got to be careful of these newfangled YouTubers that all want to talk about giving sex education and, telling women how to pleasure themselves, and the men also, by yourself. And they don't talk about this aspect of it. They don't talk about when you're laying there, self-pleasuring, what you're inviting into your system, into your your energy sphere. They don't talk about those things. All they talk about is do what makes you feel good. Well,
see that, and that's the problem, because now there's no boundaries. That's like going to like they say with vehicles. I don't know much about cars and vehicles, but in concept, I can tell you when there's one thing wrong with an older vehicle, and it's been that thing that made the check engine light come on, or maybe you heard this noise and neglected it for a long time. When that one part begins to fail, it puts a strain on the rest of the car. Right. So if you don't take care of it right away, you're straining the rest of the vehicle. So the same thing goes with this. When we look at just the sexual by itself, is in a way where we think it's just singular and it's one track. We're wrong, because that affects other things. Look at it this way. Let's throw out some random thoughts of things that I've always thought about. I'm not saying I'm somebody's guru, but I got a crazy imagination and it works for me. So say, for example, you go, let's take away the demon part right now. Let's just think about the practical stuff. And now you're sitting here and you go to bed with this woman. I'm a man, so I'm going to say woman. If you're a woman, you're going to say man, or whatever it is you're into, whatever it is. We ain't here to argue that. Whatever it is you like, whatever it is you do. And you have this new partner one-on-one. Right. And they have a issue in their bloodline with cancer. Down the blood. Oh, my grandmama had it. My great grandmama had it. My daddy had it. And you laying in the bed with them, but you don't have this propensity for it. But possibly if you would have lived to 150 years, something might manifest like that in your body. So here you are sucking down crotch sauce, swapping spit, licking sweat, whatever. You're aligning yourself with them on that spiritual level, that mental level, that physical level. Guess what? What? You find a tumor in your body that you didn't expect because you don't have this in your family.
Oh my God, that's true.
So even with our internal organs, don't you know? Look, there's a Chinese lady I went to. Wish it was a black lady, but it was a Chinese lady, and she's in Orlando, Florida, and she's in that little Asia town part over there that's not too far from I-4, but you got to go east a little more, and there's a little shop there that this lady was known for all types of advanced things. Chinese medicine, which we know in its original form is an African thing, because they got all these stuff from us.
Right, exactly.
But she was the one who was that guru. Went into the back of this building, to this little door in this little shop, and this lady who can hardly speak English would do things to you to tell you how your organs are vibrating. Wow. She had little plug-in metallic boxes that she would put on certain parts. There's certain parts that would touch your body. And she would prescribe the herbs to you that you needed to bring up the vibration of your internal organs. Right. And there was someone there that I knew very well, very close, that I used to know when they were in the jail. I used to work at the jail, but they were a resident there for a while. and we got to talking, and it's a very decent person. You know, it's a child support thing with them, and the mother was taking them through hell. They were a good, decent person anyway, still. And I recommended it to them, and they went there, and he told me, he said, man, this lady, I don't know what's up. She told me I play with myself too much, and my sexual energies are down low.
Wow.
Well, she didn't say it that way. You know, she did a little hand motion. She couldn't hardly speak English.
Right.
And it was mine because he knew this. Also said that his pancreas was vibrating low, and that he needed to do something and not mess around with the sugary foods in his diet. And she just met the man, but she had this down to a science. And she prescribed she took a time and picked through a table full of herbs that were freshly picked and reached over and grabbed this part and that part and that and made a big bag of it. Didn't put everything in the bag. She even later on took a few things out to make it perfectly attuned to his body because of her knowledge of herbs. And he started taking this stuff, and she said, it's going to be nasty, and it's not going to taste good, and it's going to make you doo-doo, it's going to make you sleep, it's going to give you, it's going to take you through the whole range. When you take this stuff, you better be home for a week because you don't know what your body's going to do.
Isn't that something?
And the distilled water that he had to drink, and whatever you feel you believe in. From the inside on a spiritual level. She said, not religion. She said, spirituality. Do that. Be quiet. Be away from people. If you have a household that's full of people, go get a hotel room or a resort and go by the beach. Spend that money. This money means nothing if you don't put yourself in a position or in an atmosphere
to
of
heal.
Be with yourself. And I think that's not the problem anyway, too.
That's
with
true.
Us, aside from the sexual things, we're rubbing up with too many people who got too many spirits. And I will say, sexually transmitted demons don't need sex just to transmit. When you start having these emotional affairs, when you start having these alliances with people, and you're talking with them, and you're sharing your problems and challenges, those things can jump too, because that's also a form of intimacy.
Right.
This is what people don't understand.
Exactly.
So, he said, man, after a week, I felt like a new man. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes I'm walking down the street so much on my toes, and if I didn't have any bags, I just broke out running. When you're in line, so understand, even when you hug somebody and you can feel them sometime, we are receptive this way. It's not just sex, but we're receptive this way. Be careful of people who try to get the sympathy going with you, and they know you're a nice person, and they're talking to you about their problems, and they see it in your eyes that, yes, she's listening, and yes, I can use her. They keep sucking you down. Not to be paranoid, but you have to guard your energy this way. Just hand your cell phone out to everybody. Oh, you can hold it. I got a full charge. They bring that bad boy at 23%. And you get stuck in your vehicle later on, and the bad boy is at 2%. If you ever
can't make a phone call.
That's right. Where the cell phone was down so low, you scared.
Yeah.
You can hardly see the red bar on the bad boy. And now you need it. You're sort of thinking, if I had only charged up a little bit here, if I didn't give it away that fast here, if I started my day out with 100% and cut it off sometime, I didn't need it. I didn't need to be on Facebook. Facebook ain't helping you. You on the side of a mountain, stranded, and there's all kind of bears running around at night, and you in the car, and you got a doo-doo, and you ain't got no paper, and your cell phone about to go out. So you just sit there in the car, stink until the morning time like a baby with unchanged diapers and the mama watching the soap operas. You stuck.
You're right.
You stuck.
You are so right. You're so right.
So guard your energy. Guard your energy.
Right. And let's talk about, doing the research and cleansing our bodies. Yes, we have all of these things that can happen to us and can be deposited on us and so on, but if we make it a habit to ritualistically and frequently cleanse ourselves spiritually, energetically, then we can rid ourselves of a lot of these things. Do the research, guys. Please don't ask me what should I do to do whatever. That's another show right now, but think as we're talking about this topic, and a lot of us are becoming aware of the things that we can be subjected to, there are solutions. There are things that you can do to rid yourself of it. The problem lies in when we don't know and we don't know what to do, and we walk around infested. That's the problem. But there are things that you can do. So think about doing spiritual and energetic cleansing to keep yourself clean.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And see, on all fronts, because what's the point of putting a $50,000 security system by your front door and a heavy security door with it, with the lights and the sirens, and you got an old cheap Home Depot closet wooden door in your back door swinging open with no doorknob in it, with a coat
Exactly.
hanger holding it closed.
Exactly.
What is that then? Right? So you got to go across the board mentally, physically, and spiritually, and be aware. Think of yourself as a fort in a war, and you have the people up top in the towers looking over the horizon at any threat that's coming to that fort. Where your soldiers, your militiamen, everybody's protected there.
Right.
So they have some that stay up all night and look over and make sure that I'm up at night so you can sleep, and you do the same for me in the daytime when I sleep.
Right.
So we have to make sure and protect ourselves that way. But too many of us are not aware of that. Too many of us just think that we can just skedaddle through life, and we see a young man or a young woman, or older man or older woman who, oh, wow, they're vegan. Oh, wow, they say they meditate. Oh, wow, their home is clean, and they're burning the incense, and they're wearing the crystals, and they got hell inside of them.
Yes. Yes. That happens.
And you have to open up to that because they have the superficial signs of this good, grand life, high, elevated. And they say the catchwords. I'm vibrating high today. Yes, I'm ascending. I'm spiritually cleansing myself. And then the universe this and the universe that. And we just, and them titties looking good. And they talking about the universe this and that. Them hips and that good, and we fool. Oh, I got a good one. She talking that good stuff. Wow, but look what she got.
Yes.
But meanwhile, she has trauma issues from young that she never dealt with. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, that you got to deal with these things. I'm not saying drop somebody because they have them. Help them out if they're a good person and a loving person, but they got things that they don't want to face. So they're overdoing the other parts of their life to make up for not facing that spiritual stench that they have on them from not dealing and healing as they should. If a person's not looking to heal, you got to be careful of them. If you they talk healing in every other part of their life, but they don't want to talk about healing, and that's where the demons reside.
Exactly.
They're hanging out right there. That's just so complicated. There was a man, I forgot what his name was. Oh, no, I didn't forget what his name was. I read so many books in the past. Dr. Lila Africa.
Yeah.
And people are not going to like what I'm going to repeat. And I believe it was in the book. I have 2 books of his. They're packed away, but it's the book where they had the little black kid, real black kid on the front, and it was about the healing. It wasn't Nutricide, which is an excellent book, but those are books you need to have. Lila Africa, anything he wrote, he transitioned not too long ago. But in that one book, he was speaking about sexuality, and he was speaking about the transfer of physical energy, and he spoke about the spiritual, but he was saying that an orgasm is so intense. And now we're talking about a man's orgasm, that you are releasing not only minerals and life force and things that we don't even know about yet, substances and things to produce life,
right?
And minerals and vitamins and life force that really and truly, and this is what a lot of folks ain't gonna like to hear. He said, maximum, the frequency of sex should be no more than once a year. This is what he said.
Really?
That's what he said. That's what he said. Unbelievable. But that's what he said. Yeah. Because it's so powerful. And you're right, Nima, it shouldn't drain you. It shouldn't drain you. So even when you post orgasmic, like origami, Japanese people, origami, orgamic. PayPal link is not working.
It's working. It's working. Some they're not doing something correctly because I just
to
checked
drop it inside the room.
Yeah.
Also, before I forget, let me just say this. I have that article that I wrote years ago, Sexually Transmitted Demons. See, I've been on this for a long time.
Right.
There's the article on LanceScurv.com. I don't know if I went as deep as I'm going now, but I was on to that. And I coined that term. So if you hear it anywhere, if they can prove in print that before, when is the date again here? September 30th, 2011 is when I put that out there. That's coming up on 10 years ago. This is August 2021. That was September 2011.
Right.
I've been at this for a long, long time. I wrote that article. So take that article and just look over it. Maybe I said some things different. I don't know, but that's where I was when I spoke about the topic. So the link I just dropped inside. And as far as the PayPal link,
I'm putting just the link by itself here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, if you accidentally excuse me, copy the link and or just go into PayPal and look for ScurvMedia or put in his email. Your email address is what you use, ScurvMedia@gmail.com, right?
Yeah. But that's the quickest link. Like if you're on your phone,
right,
and you put it right there the way you put it the way I put it or whatever, and thanks for the gesture. I appreciate it. It's going to keep the work going and everything like that.
Yes, indeed.
And we also have the Cash App thingy there. So, I'm not one to come on here. How you doing, everybody? Cash App, PayPal, do the. No, we put the work in if you want to contribute. I've always been shy about that, but it is what it is. And I'm out here.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. It's working for them now. So that's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Because like I said, you hear this little buzzing on this computer. I got to change this computer soon. I don't know what's going on with it, but I've always wanted to build myself and to contribute.
It got some transmitted stuff.
Electronic demons, right? But just again, know that there are things around us that we don't see.
Yes.
See, we get seduced by the five senses. And the five senses, we just think that's it. What do you think is going to happen when we transcend or we ascend and transition and we leave this body? Don't you think for a second that we got the physical eyes, but what about the spiritual eye? That spiritual eye that tells you that there's something not right with this particular person that's smiling and acting friendly and doing everything just right. That spiritual eye that lets you know that usually jolly person that's around you is going through something and they're in some kind of turmoil or pain. When we leave this earth or leave this plane, the physical eyes close. We can't use them anymore, but we'll see through the spiritual eye, which is nothing in comparison to anything physical, but we have no choice but to see through that. What will you see when it's just the pure spiritual eye that you'll be looking through? What if we can learn to look through our spiritual eye while we're here on the physical? We catch glimpses of it sometimes, and it doesn't mean we're just going to see ugly looking, demon looking things. Because most demons look good. Most demons are sexy. Most demons got nice teeth. If you physically see them through the spiritual eye, their breath don't stink. They're very pleasing to lure you in. But what you see on this banner on the left-hand side, that's what's behind it. How many times have you run into a person through somebody else? You didn't really know them at first, but you met this, we say, man, that person is so nice. That person is so sweet. They're a phenomenal person. I want them in my life. I want to get to know them. And then you see them somewhere else at another time when they can't see that you're looking at them. You might be 2 or 3 people behind them in the Walmart or Target cash out line.
And you see something
cussing up a storm, or they have a whole different spirit, or they're talking about the friend, that mutual friend that you had that you got to meet them through. And you're like, wait a second. Look at what I have gone through off the record out here.
Right.
Where people reveal their true selves and what's really in them. And you've been sitting up next to them the whole time, supporting them, believing in them, loving them, doing all the things you can. And they realize that they're the worst of the worst
Yes,
of the
indeed.
worst deception and the biggest fraud. And you're like, wait a second.
Exactly.
And I mean, right before a year and a half before, I'll say it this way, a video was made on this channel where the title of it was, "Sometimes the devil is sitting right next to you and you don't even know it." And they telling on themselves. You don't have to walk around paranoid all the time on everybody, but just realize that if you have 25 people who you can say, well, they're my good friends, don't think that.
No,
because you know on one hand,
you
can count.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean that of those 25 that they're evil people, but are they going to really ride or die for you? Are they bringing the right energy into your life?
Right.
They can do you a favor by cleansing themselves. You can do them a favor by cleansing yourself.
Right.
Be diligent and on point to keep yourself as the best version that you can be mentally, physically, and spiritually, emotionally, and beyond. The thoughts that you think, the foods that you eat, the places that you vibrate in. The physical places in this world. There's so much to this unseen thing. You walking down an open field and all of a sudden you feel all this fear. How do you know somebody wasn't lynched in the same spot 200 years ago by a tree that doesn't exist anymore?
Yes.
Pick up on that.
That's right.
You can walk into a room or a place and it's clean. It's a hotel or it's somebody's house and you feel this overwhelming lust. And you start looking at them like that.
Right.
What secrets are they carrying? What demons are on them telling you, come over here, but you can't see them. And you looking at this person in a very sexual way. And they're not even dressed that way to entice you. But it's something about them that pulls you to them.
Yes.
I remember I was on a bus one time. Car was in the shop. It was the second job that I was working. And I was coming from Long Island, Garden City, Long Island. And you had to take those Long Island buses in and you transfer. And I think I was coming down Hillside Avenue to get over into my part of Queens.
Right.
And there was this white woman who, and I'm not into that now, but there was this white woman who sat to the front. And how old was I about? I might have been about maybe 30 years old, 32 years old, whatever. And there was a white woman who was a plain Jane kind of white woman. They all look like plain Janes to me anyway, but she was an extreme plain Jane woman. And we had coworkers who were riding with us on the bus who didn't drive. And so we were sitting toward the middle of the bus because I didn't do back of the bus. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this woman would never really, she was sitting there. We knew her face. You know, when you commute regular for months or a year or two, you begin to see the strangers on a regular basis. And sometimes you don't see them and you say, I wonder where that person is, you know, and you see them again and say, oh, there they go. But you never talk, you don't know them. So this white woman was that kind of person. Well, anyway, we're sitting there talking as usual. And so one of the girls said to me, a woman, I say, girl, Lance, look at that white lady over there, how she's looking at you. And the other black woman who worked with me, Lance, she's looking at you like she could just eat you alive. That woman had something on her where she was staring me down and had no shame. She didn't lick out her lips. She didn't roll her eyes up and down in a sexual way. She was just staring, but we knew exactly what it was. It was frightening. Some people are like, man, you got it going on, man. You got that white lady chicken. You are. I ain't nothing going on with that.
Guess what, though?
I'm telling you, this woman had so much lust on her out of nowhere.
But what was she seeing on you?
What was she seeing on me?
That's right. What was she seeing on you? See,
and I had them things on me big time, and I ain't shake them all off at that point.
Exactly. There
are women who come up to me and didn't know why they want to talk to me and like me and whatever have you.
Exactly.
It's the truth. I had them too.
Yeah.
I might still have one on one of my shoulders. Get off of me. Get off of me. Hell out of here.
Bloody mess.
Just because I'm doing this podcast naked, that don't mean no demon can climb on me.
Maybe that's why you should have put on clothes for this show.
For real. For real.
Who told you to do that?
I feel so free when I talk. There's nothing on me. There's nothing. Because you know, when you wear clothes, it puts you in a certain mood. When you're at work or you have to wear uniform, you're in that, state of mind. So you become that.
You become that.
You know what I mean?
You're a mess.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, when I first moved to Florida, when I was working in corrections, and I couldn't get enough of the beach at months that
Yes.
I couldn't in New York. I couldn't go to the beach in November. It's too cold. So I beached out. And when I was working a night shift, I would leave. What time was it? Like 6:45 in the morning when I did overtime.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't overtime. That was my main shift. They stuck me on the night shift. I'd hop in the car. I'd go from Orlando and go all the way to Cocoa Beach, go all the way up to Titusville, and go over to a beach called Playa Linda. Playa Linda, Linda. Right. Playa Linda, not Player Linda, but Playa Linda. And that was a nude beach that I found. And you had to go all the way up this peninsula, like 26 miles after getting there. And it was the last dune, the last parking lot. And I'd go way to the end and take off all my clothes and lay out. And I didn't want that uniform on me. I was free from being this corrections officer.
Right.
I just like getting naked anyway. I don't care. It's a natural state. I used to be like that as a little boy. But anyway, too much information, right? But that's the thing. We have to be careful what's on us also. But that white lady, when it was like this the first time she saw me. She's used to glancing over that way and sometimes laughing when they heard us tell. And I know in her mind that they're telling these funny nigger jokes. Just black people are just funny. All of them are comedians, damn it. They make me laugh. But she's staring at me. It was like something was on me, but definitely something was on her.
Of course.
When she got off the bus, she wasn't no old lady now. If I was 30, she had to be about 45, but she had to hold on like she wasn't stable. And she never pulled her eyes off of me. And when she got off the bus, she walked up to the side of the window and stared at me while the bus was still parked there, letting off and letting on other passengers. And it freaked me out. And she just stared, and the look in her eyes was like she wanted to suck me down so hard. Yes. And everybody, even people that didn't know us, they're like, yo, they didn't even know the situation. And they're like, what's up with her? And she stood there. And as the bus pulled off, she stood there looking at the bus and didn't even walk away. And then we never saw her again. I was scared. I've never been through anything. Yeah, Rory, that's the way you spell the beach.
Right,
Google that.
Right.
But anyway.
Maybe they know it.
Yeah.
But, we're talking about all of that and she's looking at you. It's quite possible that she's looking at you and she didn't even see you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She didn't. Exactly. You could have even reminded her of somebody, and that image came through on your person.
Oh, because of course.
That happens all the time,
Yeah, I'm open to all those possibilities, and I couldn't take it personal, but for me to be the focus of that, it was kind of freaked me out. So,
of course,
It was something. But like, again, if you don't get anything from this conversation, and we're going to be speaking on this more and more. I dropped the link already for that old article that I wrote.
Drop it again, Brother Lance.
Okay, let me drop this again. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
For the show, I was going to say, hold on, I'm coming.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not inviting any demons into our midst.
I'm in a demon-proof kind of existence right now.
Exactly.
I'm very much like a monk. I'm very much. It ain't much gonna see me. Ain't much gonna get around me. Whatever. I'm really, even people around here, they're like, my brother, I don't see you anymore. Where are you? I've been up at night and sleeping during the day and doing my work and doing these shows and doing what I have to do, and Mr. Scurv and us, the projects and different things, whatever, but, because of that, I can see what's coming at me. And, You're right, Zenobia. Them pink women, they see our life force and how powerful it is. Even when it is misdirected, is much more powerful than what they're used to dealing with in-house with their own man.
Right.
And that's something that you can't get a steroid shot or some kind of protein powder or whatever. They love to do the artificial things to emulate the power that we naturally have. And that's what we have to also be careful of before we go. And of course, you're going to have the last word. But these vampires, and I think it's appropriate that we have this banner where we have this woman sinking her teeth into this man that has a lot of melanin in him, whatever he may be, right? Because we are a source of power for them. We are a battery for them. When all is said and done, when they're exhausted, they can always depend on us to go over and beyond. Hence the love to have us, love to have our bodies working on their plantations and using us.
Right.
You know, just like in the song "White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell."
Yes.
You know, his back was too weak. He needed you, black man, right? Though you a pregnant black woman, you pulled the plow like a horse, like a dog, even a cow. He filled your womb with his wicked seed. So, you know, they hate us, but they use us for our life force, and it happens most often, and I have to drop this before we go, on a demonic, satanic, sacrificial level. We're talking about the black woman and the black man, but for the male energy, because the black woman's energy and power is even more so. But that readily available thing that deposits fluid and gives off is the black man.
Right.
And many of these white Satanists want to get that surge of power and not have to sacrifice a black baby. They will have sex with the black man.
Right.
They will have sex with the black man or have him in a sexual situation. So you have a lot of white couples who are Satanists. Black man, be careful when you see some white woman just want to give it up to you so fast.
So easily.
Be careful when you see a white couple.
Yes.
And I'm talking some kinky sounding stuff here, but I know this because I've been approached over and over, especially when I was in bodybuilding and younger. There was always that white woman who says, my husband says it's okay for me to be with you. And I just want to, just taste it. I always wanted to know what it was like. Run! Because they're taking your life force and they're using it for something satanic in their rituals. And if they open up to you even more, they will have you there in their satanic orgies. It ain't about sex. You looking at booty and titty, and you got the weakness for the white woman, and you there were 7 white women naked waiting there to blow me, and just give me booty. Fool. You don't know what you're attaching yourself with. You don't know what you're giving up. Right. And then later on, when you try to have kids, ain't none of your kids come out right. Because you got something attached to it.
That's right. They
come out off no matter how much you got to watch the sexual escapades that you have when you're younger. It's not, well, I did that time. I shot my sperm and it felt good and that's it. What did you trade off for? The unseen worlds that we don't see. Those things, checks and balances, baby.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
everything you do has a consequence.
Yes, indeed.
And it feels real good. Sex is like that credit card. You ain't got to pay nothing up front. You get it all.
American Express.
For the rest of your life. My dear sister, I'll let you have the last word because it's your show. Even though I talk 90% of the time. Talk to us.
Listen, this is a topic. This is a topic.
Would there be more parts?
That you have to do 90% of the talking. It just is what it.
So what are your experiences with the sexually transmitted demons, Empress Elegy?
I haven't had too many transmissions. But it only takes one. So
exactly.
Exactly. I try to do the energy work and I try to keep myself,
raw.
Brother
Yeah,
Raw,
go
how you
ahead.
doing? Like you said, you don't always have to actually consummate the act. It could be a kiss, it could be a hug, it could be anything. And
That's
yeah,
right.
I've hugged quite a few people, and I've hugged quite a few men, and you can tell that their intentions are, far deeper and far more, uh, should I say, sinister, for lack of a better word, um,
Hmm.
than just a casual hug. And so you have to do the work. You have to always be cleansing yourself. So that's what I want to say. Do the work. Yes, these things are going to happen. You can't avoid it.
Journey.
Even the folks that are in here saying that they try to keep themselves clean and stay away from things, and I get it, and I respect that. I understand it, but you will still come in contact with demons, because they're going to attach themselves to an open source, and that open source is going to come in contact with you, in a very benign, innocent way, and it can still be transferred. So just be mindful, be aware, and do the cleansings, do the research, do the cleansings.
That's
Thank
right.
you all for being here. This is live. For those of you who didn't recognize that we are here live, we are live. Hello. Hi, Bright Star. Last moment. Um,
Great star. 13. How are you?
but hello, everyone. Just good to see you all here. I saw Chow come in, Chow Vietti, and we haven't seen them in a very, very, very long time. Very long time.
I
So
know.
it
But
was
because
good
we're
to
doing these
see
regular
them.
early shows, we're running into a lot of
Yes.
people a family that we haven't seen. And
Yes.
this is always going to be regular 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We're
Yes,
still going to have
indeed.
the weekend shows. We don't have a schedule for that yet. We're going to start to
Right.
schedule the evening shows. And I'll say for sure, I want to say next week, the evening show, at least for an hour, a recap. But I know within the next 2 weeks, when other things are settled in, we'll be having 2 definite shows a day. But this morning show is written in stone, barring an
Yes.
emergency, barring something that we have to take care of, because there's things
Yes.
we have to do
Yes.
sometime. There may
Yes.
not be, and we may have to
Yes.
record it or whatever, but we're always going to keep it live. So you don't need a notification to get it. We can just get it. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. That's
yes,
right.
yes,
Superman, the comedy night will come soon. I can't say it's tonight. Brother Lance has a ton of things that he's working on.
yes,
And
yes.
so we can't
Oh,
say
two
that it's
weeks for
going to be
sure. 2 weeks for sure, written in stone.
right.
There's a
Right.
lot of things I can't say, and I want it to be right. And when it's right, we ain't never gonna stop it, and it's gonna be off the chain because I want to laugh too. I want to cut a fool too.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know.
Giant Gain, I love you, sweetheart, but you're such an instigator. Anyways, everybody, Queen Irie, thank you for the love. Thanks everyone for the love. Brother Lance, thank you so much for a wonderful show. It's always good to have you as a guest on.
Pleasure. Thank you
And
so much.
have a
It's a pleasure
wonderful
being here.
day. All right.
That's
Take care,
right.
family.
Take care, everybody. We're
All
coming back with some
righty.
stuff later on the weekend, so don't think we're gonna forget about you. But with this is
Exactly.
we'll see you Monday as far as this show is concerned. Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Empress Elegy, I love you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And we'll
indeed.
talk for a
Much
while.
love to you too, my brother. Take
Peace,
care.
everybody.
Mhm.
That's right. Hit that article, y'all. Read the article now and leave a comment in the bottom, even if you said hi. Hit this article on LanceScurv.com. Thank you so much.